chaps, welcome to Saturday's video. It's a little bit of a departure from the norm today. So I'm using some soaps that have been provided to me as part of a Passaround from Stephen Keer, the Suffolk Shaver. Two soaps have arrived. Grab the other. We have from Australia, Wolfpac Shaving Silk Road, and we have from the good old US of A. We have West Coast Shavings Bay Rum. Now, having never sampled either of these soaps before, I've been sitting here trying to decide which one to use first, and it's difficult. I don't know what the performance is like. I've gone into this completely blind, so I can form my own opinion. So I've not researched anything about these soaps at all. The only thing I've done is check the scent of the soaps to see which appeals, and they're both nice, both very nice indeed. The Wolfpac is the stronger scent, Bay Rum is much more gentle. The Wolfpac does smell very similar, to my nose anyway, to the Phoenix and Bow Sanskrit. So on that basis I picked the Bay Rum because it's something totally new. I thought I'd give it a try, so we're going to go for that. And looking at the ingredients list, excuse me, I've got a bit of a dodgy throat coming. We've got a very simple list: water, coconut oil, vegan glycerin, stearic acid, PG, so propylene glycol, sorbitol as a sweetener, unusual I must admit, bentonite clay, fragrance and essential oils. I've never known sugar of any kind, be it real or artificial, to go into a soap. Certainly not from an ingredients list I'm aware of anyway. It's a nice little, very nicely presented little tin. Simple label, tells you what's what. And yeah, it's not a screw top, it's just a push fit. Simple little puck. And it's you can get the cloves immediately. They absolutely get the clove. Maybe a bit of bay, sort of following through after the clove. But other than that, it's all clove. So let's see what we've got. Hot towel already today. The razor of choice is a Mueller R41 with a brand new shark blade, and brushes, of course it's going to be a Cadman. It is this one, it is the RS. The RS being the one from my dad. It's been soaking, like I say, I've hot toweled already, so I'm good to go. And we're just going to load from the puck and rinse out after. So a simple attempt at loading, and it's... I'm not going to bloom it, because obviously I don't want to mental destroy the puck or anything. Takes a little bit to load, so with other soaps that you'll be familiar with that I love and enjoy, it loads quite quickly. Let's encourage that into the brush. It's taking a little while longer than other vegetable based soaps. That's not to say it's not going to be good, just takes a little while longer to load. And let's face it, if you've ever used Mitchell's Wolfpac, you know that takes a while to load. Okay, I'd say what we've got there is a decent amount in the brush, I'd say. I'll rinse this out afterwards so that it's all nice and clean for the next guys. Okay, so we've got a decent amount there, and indeed there's a decent amount in the bowl. So what we're going to do, scoop some of it out, do my usual, make myself look very silly, paint it on. Happy days. So, having never used the West Coast soap before, I don't know what to expect, so we're just going to start the lathering process. And the scent, the cloves have softened somewhat. And there's a sweetness coming through that wasn't there before. That, I dare say, will be the sugar, or sorry, the sorbitol, the sweetener, maybe. It's quite an airy lather at this point. It's going to require some working. I want to try and reduce some of this air before I start adding water. Seem to be struggling to get the air out, which is a new one on me. See, it's collapsing quite quickly once you leave it. And you can see it's not like a case of there's not enough soap, because there are stacks of this airy lather. Given the razor and blade combination I'm using, I want to get this right before the blade even touches my face. It's not looking good so far, I'm afraid. You can see that it's collapsing in on itself. I've added a little water to see what we get. I mean, the lather, I don't know if you can see it too well on camera. You can certainly see it on my face, it's falling to bits. Bubbles are large, and when you see, it's not a case of I've not been working the lather, because I have, as you've seen. I just can't get it to be stable. It's yeah, well, with the large bubbles I've been working that well. It's forming everywhere. So it's not like I've not got a lot of it. I mean, look how quick that is dissipating. Okay. In between the figure, it feels relatively slick. In fact, credit where credit's due, it does feel slick, but that's going to offer nothing in comparison to, or by way of cushion. I mean, I'm not putting a blade to my face with that. So, that's a bit of a bust. It's the first time I've ever. I mean, look, this bugger all left. It's the first time I've tried to put soap to my face where I've said I'm not going to use it. With that in mind, let's hope the Wolfpac follows suit. Now this one too appears to be vegetable based soap. Yeah, stearic acid, water, coconut oil, castor seed oil, glycerin. The usual soap bits and pieces, followed up with fragrance as the last thing. So let's hope my Antipodean brothers have got a better grasp of soap. Scent-wise, like I say, very similar to Phoenix and Beau's Sanskrit, which is a good thing. It's a very good thing because I like it a lot. Subtle differences. The initial hit is the same. Mellows out in a different way, and I know that sounds strange, but different way is the only way I can describe it. It's not the same after a few seconds. So that's the soap. So let's try this one. Again, same deal. I've rinsed the brush out thoroughly. I'm just going to load from the puck. I prefer the pot size as well on this, much better straight away. Let's see. Yeah, scent wise, the scent is much the same in the puck. Sorry, much the same as you start to load it as it is off the puck. It might sound a bit daft, but sometimes scents change as you introduce water to them. Now straight away, this is offering more up front and it's denser up front. Same deal. Much denser up front. This is looking more promising. So far, Australia 1, United States 0. There we go. Bit of the old soap on the face, good amount in the brush. I've swiped a bit off of there, by the way. So, let's get the razor into warm and let's build. The scent is much stronger. And the lather looks so much better. Now it's time to add some water. because I've got a good dense lather. Need to get it to the right consistency. Now that scent is divine. It's very prominent with the clove. There's a sweetness in there that may be cinnamon, I don't know. Certainly a warmer, sweeter scent than clove. There we are. Happy with that. Very happy with that. So, just to recap, this is Wolfpac Silk Road with a Moolah R41 and a brand spanking new Shark blade. You can understand my trepidation of using a lather that's less than stellar with a blade that will bite and a razor that's quite aggressive. So, no pressure needed because it's an R41 with a brand new blade, and yeah, I like that. There we go. We have the new blade curse, of course, to contend with. We have a little tiny little weeper, but entirely understandable with this razor and blade. There we go. So, first pass, not bad. Could do with a smidgen more glide, but I find that to be the case with a lot of vegetable soaps. That said, there is quite a good amount of residual glide left. Yeah, this first pass is good. Let's lather up for pass 2. It's ample here in the brush as well, so I won't need to reload, which is always nice. The scent is really nice. Definitely strong on the cloves. Feels nice under the blade, which, given it's a very sharp and aggressive combination I'm using, is a good thing. Like I say, the only real drama is that one spot there, but we can deal with that. Now, you may notice I'm not doing my usual 3-pass routine. There's 2 reasons. Number 1, that razor is aggressive and sharp. And number 2, you just plain don't need it with an R41. So, good stuff. The Wolfpac. Let's pop that on for now. There we go. Wolfpac. That's the back. For those who might be interested. It's a nice pot. I mean, presentation is everything, they say. In the retail world, it's simple logos does the job. So, but what do we think of the soap? Most importantly, I like it. There's enough glide. I said I wanted more, but that's just being greedy. Protection is pretty good. There's just that one little weeper there, but that's new blade curse. I put that down to. It's not really a fault of the soap there. I had a little pimple. Blade took it off. Anyway, in terms of performance, the glide, it's good enough. Protection under the blade, I didn't feel like the blade was dragging across my face at all. Scent is nice. Post shave we'll find out. I'll put that in the comments or the description of the video below what I find of that. There's a little bit of tingling sensation going on. Probably the scent. A little bit of a reaction to the scent, maybe. Nothing untoward, nothing unexpected though. I know a lot of people can be quite sensitive to some of the stronger scents. However, the acid test, would I buy it? I probably would, you know. As a vegetable soap goes, it's pretty good. It's certainly a lot better a lather than this, which says quite possibly the world's greatest shaving soap. Really? It shouldn't be hard to make a lather. It really shouldn't. I don't like criticising products because I know at the end of the day someone's put their heart and soul into making it, particularly with an artisanal product such as this. It's a handmade soap from West Coast. The lather, it wasn't good enough for me to shave with. I mean, you saw at the beginning of the video I worked it quite hard. I tried swirling it, I tried painting it, I added water after the initial load. Didn't want to know, and as a consequence I did not shave with it because I had no confidence that the lather would perform. It felt slick enough between the fingers, but in terms of protection, no, didn't want to know. So sorry guys at West Coast, it's not one for my purchase list, but the Wolfpac would be. Now, coming all the way from Australia, take a while to get here I guess, so I'm going to have a little look at what the Wolfpac make scent wise, because this is nice. I'd like to pick something new in terms of a scent, something that's, actually do you know what, the post shave is feeling rather nice, apart from that little weeper there, but I'd say my actual skin feels soft, smooth, not tight or dry. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. Morning chaps, welcome to part 2 of the Passaround from Stephen Keer and the Australian and American soaps. Now yesterday didn't have much luck with the soap that I chose first of all. Lathering was a disaster, shall we say, so I abandoned the shave with the West Coast Shaving Bay Rum and went for the Wolfpac, which was really good. Very much enjoyed that and would actually buy it. And I thought to myself, well, there's a claim on this tin that says quite possibly the world's greatest shaving soap. Now, to make that kind of claim, you'd like to think there was some truth in it, so I did a bit of research after yesterday's disaster, did a bit of review watching on YouTube. Was it Another Cut Above by Chris? He had a good shave with this, thoroughly enjoyed it. I disagree slightly in his scent levels. He reckons it was like a 7 or 8 on the scale of 10. I think it's a bit less than that, but that's nitpicking, and scent is entirely subjective, but he rated the performance. He found it very slick and he got it to lather really well. Admittedly, he loaded it like he hated it, and the brush, I couldn't do that to mine. It looked like it was proper being hammered, so I thought to myself, well, if I'm going to do that, I've got to use a synth, and a cheap one, because I don't really have an emotional attachment to my Body Shop synthetic, so that's what I'm going to do. But in the meantime, I read other reviews, and lots of people had the same issue I did with airy lather that collapses on site, and they load it and load it and load it and load it. And I thought, well, maybe it's batches, maybe it could be the person, because I'm big enough to admit that I can get it wrong sometimes. But I don't want to batter my Cadmans. So today, I'm going to, with this, the Bay Rum, use a synthetic, and I've bloomed the soap as well, because a lot of people said they get more success with this soap when they bloom it. And to be fair, it's a small tin. I mean, that's what, knocking over a 4-inch diameter. It's not very shallow, oh, it's very shallow, so you've not got anywhere to really get your brush in and load it properly. So blooming it will only help because it's going to soften it. Sorry, Christopher David Bailey. Yes, I'll get your name right eventually. Blooming is good in some senses. Yeah, so I would give it a try. So I've hot toweled already. I've got my R41 with the same sharp blade. So this will be day 2. I've got my Body Shop synthetic brush that has been soaking. Not that it really needs it, but you know, old habits. And I've got the soap that has been blooming in the pot. I'm going to transfer a little water, it's too much, to the bowl. And just with the crack, we'll rub some of it in. Okay, now I will say, from the bloom water, the scent is much more obvious. It's definitely cloves, there's a little something sweet there. As you know, I've only got 1 day's growth from yesterday. Now let's see what we can do. Just wash your hands, because you don't want to be dropping razors due to slippery hands. Okay, so the soap had been blooming for a couple of minutes, not long. I don't want to destroy the integrity of the soap. I don't want it to swell or anything like that. So we have one puck. Shake the water out. We have the brush. Let's load. So now I can quite happily fit all the bristles in here and load it like I hate it, because it's a cheap brush, £7, something like that. And if it does decide to get damaged, it's no great loss financially or emotionally. Now immediately I can see the blooming has made a difference to how quick the soap gives up its lather. What I don't like is how it spills. So kudos to all the guys who give bigger tubs. Just give it 10 more seconds, and now I'm going to bowl lather, because I don't like face lathering with this brush. It's very flingy, shall we say. There we go. So I'm going to transfer all of the escaped lather to my shaving room bowl. And I'm going to whip it up. So I've got a little bit of bloom water in there, not a lot, just a little drop sitting in there. I'm just going to whip. Now, the one thing I did like about the soap from yesterday was its scent, and yeah, from the puck it's not that strong, so since blooming and getting a better lather up front, it smells a little stronger. So Chris, from another cut above, yeah, I see where you're coming from. And immediately I can tell, looking here, the lather is much denser than it did or was yesterday. Need some water, granted. Bit more of that. In fact, let's see if there's any. No other bloom water left at all. Now I'm going to add the liquid slowly to the bowl, because another thing I saw when reading the reviews on this was that it can't take a huge amount of water before going too far and collapsing beyond use. So we've got here a lather that I'd be much happier to try yesterday. In fact, I'm going to compile the video of the Wolfpac and this into one and just do little snippets from yesterday's disaster to highlight what was happening, interject it with this. But yeah, I wasn't happy to use the lather yesterday, so I didn't. From this, the West Coast, but this I'm more inclined to want to use. It's denser, less bubbles. I think it still needs a little more water. It's holding peaks, but they're still a little stiff. I like to have my lather relatively wet so that it offers the glide. Because I find if it's too dry, your razor just sticks to your face, and that's the last thing you want with an R41. You want it to glide gently over the surface, and you need water for that to activate all the goodness. Now, that's what it's doing at the minute. Lovely little peaks, a bit like whipping up a meringue. Seeing the bowl, much happier than yesterday. Much happier. Still a few bubbles, but that's kind of expected, I guess. And the other reason I want to make sure I pack a bit of water into it is that a lot of people criticise the soap. I say a lot. The majority of the reviews of this soap that I read, if there were criticisms offered, it was that the lather dried up pretty quick. So I want to give it a fighting chance today and pack as much water in as I can without going too far. There we go. Got ice cream like lather. Peaks are just starting to drop over their own edge. I think we're good. So, like I said, hot towel, use some bloom water. Much better lather than yesterday, so I suspect that the fault from yesterday was that the soap didn't load properly into my brush, even though there was plenty of it, or seemingly. It was just the outer edge. I think it needed more to be taken up, and the blooming has helped. The scent is less strong on the face than in the bowl. Most importantly, let's see how it shaves. Okay, so you can see it's taking out the growth quite happily. The lather is so far stable, and yeah, the glide is reasonable, could be better. I can definitely feel the blade. But that isn't entirely unexpected with an R41. So, first pass complete without any drama. Yeah, not too bad. There's a lot of residual slickness, which is strange because it doesn't translate in the lather as well as it does on the skin. So let's go for another pass, and happily the lather is staying stable in the bowl and in the brush. Now you'll notice I like to paint with this brush because there's a lot of spring in the bristles. The scent so far is the highlight of this product. It's a very nice scent, very much cloves, sweetness of the bay. Oh, I have nicked myself. Nothing to write home about, mind. Here we go. So, what do we think? I'm going to give it 5 minutes to get the post-shave feel to come through, and I'll return and let you know. And welcome back. So, a few minutes have passed. I've done my usual cold towel routine post-shave. I say usual, don't see it on video normally. Entirely depends on the shave. But when I have a shave that is, how can I say it, not 100%, I tend to go for a cold towel routine just to A, calm the skin down, and B, just clean up and, you know, see how things are. Anyway, a post-shave isn't bad. It's not bad. It's not as good as the Wolfpac from yesterday, but it's not as bad as, say, the Erasmic or the Wilkinson Sword soaps leave my skin. And yeah, so West Coast Shaving Bay Rum kind of redeemed itself today. Through a little bit of research, maybe would be helpful to suggest a few things on the pot, because it really doesn't. I know it's a shaving soap, and I know that it should be easy to use, but when soaps have little foibles, it's worth letting people know the best way to get a good shave from the soap, because otherwise you're just inviting a bad experience first time. I think if you give upfront advice, like bloom the soap for 2 minutes, that's all I did and I got great lather out of it, you get a good shave first time, whereas without knowing this and just treating it like any other soap, yesterday I got a really bad first experience, to the point where I was, if I'd have bought soap, I'd have binned it on that experience if I wasn't inclined to go and research. So maybe a little tip there for the guys at West Coast, or maybe just a bigger pot could help, because then those of us with really nice brushes that we don't want to smash into the soap to get a good load out of it, we're not going to, well, we'd be able to use a decent brush in the pot. I mean, I know we can transfer to a bowl or to another pot, but I like to use the pots that they come in, because they come in a pot for a reason. But yeah, like I say, post shave, not too bad. I will use a balm because it's not the best. I am a little bit dry, but nothing major. It's not the dryness that feels like my skin's been pulled sort of 3 sizes too small for my face, so it's okay. It's just that little tiny bit. But yeah, the scent is knockout on that. It's very nice. There is the sweetness of the bay, you've got the cloves that offer the spiciness, there's other things in there as well. Can't put my finger on them because I don't really know what's in a bay rum, and I'm not that clever that I can tell you what they are. But yeah, in terms of glide, it's okay. It could be with being a little bit better, but it's not disastrous or the end of the world. Protection, cushion, again, could be a little bit better. I really did feel the blade under my on my skin today. I did catch myself down there, and I've got a tiny little weeper up here as well. But yeah, scent is great. Packaging, like I say, it's simple, effective logo, tells you what it is, but like I say, could just do with a little bit of advice of Bloom and soap to get the best results. Failing that, just give me a bigger pot in which to lather with a big brush, like so, because when you start putting that on and you start splaying, you get like maybe two of the 3/3 of the brush that actually make contact with the soap. The rest is just outside the pot, and it's just doesn't make for a good lathering experience, as you saw yesterday. So, would I buy it? I'll be honest, I wouldn't buy this one. On the strength, this is scent, I would buy it if everything else was good, because the scent's great. Glide is at sort of probably the bottom end of what I would consider purchasable. Cushion, again, I'd have to try it with different razors, but with the R41 it doesn't match up to my best performers. And post shave, like I say, it leaves me feeling a little bit dry, so I wouldn't buy this one. So I'm going to kind of finish off the video with the Australia versus America in the soap battle. We had the Lone Wolf, the Wolfpac Silk Road, against West Coast Shaving. In this battle, the Wolf won. I would purchase this one because the performance was good, the post shave was good, the scent is really good. This one was just lacking in performance for me and the post shave. So nice one, Wolfpac. Room for improvement here. Thank you very much, Stephen, for arranging the pass around on these soaps. Thoroughly enjoyed the test. It's always nice to find something that forces you to reevaluate your lathering technique. Make sure that you don't get complacent. So chaps, I'm going to go and process the video and get it online for you guys, and yeah, have a fantastic Sunday. I'm going to go and prepare a bit of Angus beef for my dinner. Maybe buy a bottle of red wine, you know, splash out a little bit, and go and prepare for some fuzzy goodness from a fuzz pedal that I've ordered. So thank you gents for watching. I've been Nick. These have been the Wolfpac and West Coast Shaving Soaps. I'll see you again soon. Bye.